This is episode 2 of The Regulars, where I bring past guests to talk about our projects and how we're trying to grow it. I have IDK Junior, who was my guest number 11. He's a music producer trying to increase his brand. Tony Hannides, he does Lazy Tech TV, creates tech review content, and he's trying to, the same thing, grow his brand. And I have Work Talk Podcast, where I'm trying to grow more of an audience and continue to provide value with information and my podcast. So in this episode, we exchange updates on how we're doing. I talk about what I'm looking to do next, which is using LinkedIn and creating content there. We exchange ideas on how we could help each other out. So check out this episode, Regulars 2, if you want to hear what we talked about. All right, so what's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out on a Monday to just chat about how our businesses are going. And for those who don't know who we are, if you will have Tony first, if you could briefly explain what your work is, what your goals are, and then I'm going to show a little snippet of some of your work right after. Then we'll have Junior do it, and then from there we'll go on with some questions, checking on how business is going.
Sure. Yeah. So aside from my professional and day job with Microsoft and Mosaic Training, I have 3 YouTube channels, one of which is a tech review channel. I have a vape review channel, and then I have a standard family-esque vlog channel that slowly but surely my daughter's starting to want to take over it and it be her toy review channel. So there's that.
That's cute.
And I guess... Yeah, no, it's fun, but I guess some of my goals, short-term goals, would be, get better at just doing the video, editing the videos in such a way that's not monotonous and not the same. Have a little bit of a different spin, and also, really work on marketing, because
okay.
I know last episode we talked marketing was a big thing for me, so I took some of your advice. Junior took some of your advice as well too by drafting some of my Instagram posts, and honestly that helped a lot. So thanks to both of you.
Hey, that's cool to hear. All right, let me go and show a quick clip for everybody to see Tony's work. It's a video you did not too long ago with Lazy Tech TV. You guys can see, right?
Yeah.
Let's give a little snippet of Tony's work.
Going on, guys? Tony Hannides here with Lazy Tech TV, and I'm here with Ming Ming at Gen High, and we're looking at these things here, which apparently are going to help me get better sleep, right?
So I don't know if
Explain
everyone
how,
can hear
'cause
it,
this
but
seems
essentially
weird.
the glasses that I'm wearing, if you're watching the video, they help produce melatonin throughout your day. So by the time that you actually go to sleep at night, there would be enough melatonin in your system to elongate your sleep process. Light therapy is something that the astronauts use, NASA uses with them. So there is some proven, and that was my first impression. And I have another video where I have a full review, which are these guys right here. So
Sweet.
I have a full review coming soon.
Yeah, like you said, you don't want to review it right after you get it because you're in that honeymoon phase. You want to give it some time, and then you'll give it an honest review.
Yeah, I don't know about a honeymoon. This was a bad relationship right from the get-go, but yeah.
All right, so let's go on with Junior. If you could talk about your work, what are your goals, and then we'll show a little snippet of your work too.
Yeah, so I'm Junior. I go by IDK. I am a producer here in the Bay Area. I also do real estate photography, product photography, and I guess short-term goals would be right now it's just building relationships and networking with people, and long-term would be to utilize those relationships and create the type of lifestyle and way I see my life in the future.
Nice.
Basically, yeah.
Let's show a little snippet. Is that your little one hanging out with you?
Yeah, she's chilling.
All right, so I got a snippet of Junior's music. Let's play that.
Dope.
like that. I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cool, cool. All right, and audience knows about my work, and this is an actual sample of my work, which is getting people together from the Bay Area to talk about the work we do, getting to know what they know and who they are. So that's my spiel. Let me kind of throw out a question. I only actually have one question prepared, and then from there we could just go on tangents.
Cool.
But my question is, and then I'm going to respond to it too. What do you guys want to see happen with your projects, or see more of happen? And then what can we, like, together as a group do to help each other out?
Oh, man. Well, as far as my music goes, I would like to see my music being licensed out, like commercially, whether it's in TV shows, on the radio, or by artists.
And how would that happen? Is it just, like, for me, if I have any connections, mainly to artists or companies or media companies?
Yeah, I mean, even with vloggers or people who curate playlists on Spotify or iTunes. Yeah, any avenue I can take to get my music out on their platforms and in the hands of their audiences, I guess.
Okay, I could definitely do that. I could definitely tag you on some. So it's like, for you, it sounds like really making a lot of connections to influencers, people who have an audience.
Right.
Got it.
Dope.
Yeah, I guess for me, one of the things that I need to try and work better on, which is connected to the marketing aspect of it, is to better engage with my audience. Because while I see a lot of analytics coming from YouTube and all these analytics coming from Instagram, it's great to see numbers in double digits or larger triple digits. But when it comes to actually having them feel like their sets of eyeballs matter to me, I have the problem of reconnecting with them, like answering their comments, whether they be good comments or bad comments, things like that.
Right. So it's better connecting with your audience, better engaging.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that you had told me that you had mentioned on the last Regulars podcast was just not randomly, but sending a DM on Twitter or Instagram to somebody that you find some sort of common ground with, and just kind of starting a conversation. And I took that to heart, so I started. I'm still doing it, and like you said, it's a numbers game. I've sent out maybe 100 DMs and only got like 2 responses.
Okay.
And out of those 2, only one person has kind of continued to talk to me beyond what the initial interaction was about. And while that is exciting, it's also like, whew, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of 100 DMs.
I have a lot of videos to edit. I mean, and I know it's an excuse, but it's about prioritizing, and that's just part of the whole cog of it all.
That's interesting. So you only have like a few people who responded back?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, so the people that I reached out to, some of them are brands, which is a good and a bad thing, because the bigger the brand, the more people they have monitoring that social media. So, they probably, it's not very person to person. And then there the 2 people that did respond back to me were actual people, and they didn't have a huge following on Instagram. So they're kind of like me in that regard, trying to get some more eyeballs. And the initial conversation I thought was very, genuine, very honest. But I didn't really know where to kind of, gauge it to continue. I don't know. I think if anything, if they were to post something on Instagram again, and something that I thought was kind of cool, maybe I could, follow up and say, hey, that last video you did of the vape trick was awesome. Can you maybe teach me how to do that so I could do it on my own or something like that? So
yeah, I think the DMs work for me just because they're smaller. They're like people with not a large following, so they're not a brand that gets maybe a bunch of different DMs from different people. So maybe that's why it kind of worked for me. But I mean, it takes up so much of my time messaging people. And for me, what I'm planning to do next is I started thinking about, okay, my demographic. And it's everyone who's commenting with me is people who's interested in career development, whether it's learning about careers, whether they're in a specific career that my guest is in. But it's all people. My content isn't entertainment or anything like that. So I was thinking, okay, where are these people? And then I thought about LinkedIn, that anyone who's thinking about like careers, opportunities, they're all on LinkedIn. And I haven't posted any of my content on LinkedIn yet. And for my LinkedIn, that's like where my job is. For my job, I use LinkedIn a lot, and I have like 1,500 connections. And whenever I do post, I get a lot of engagement, but I've never posted anything around Work Talk Podcast. So this week, I'm going to start posting on LinkedIn. And an idea I had is for my podcast, I'm going to write a simple one-page article summary, summarizing what was discussed in the podcast. And then it has a link to the YouTube video, and I'm going to post those on LinkedIn's articles. And that way people could share it through LinkedIn's social media platform. But then those articles are also searchable on Google, and you could read those articles without needing to be signed into LinkedIn too. And I think by doing that, I'll find the people who's trying to find my content. And that's the next step for me, is LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn, I could tear some shit up.
Well, to be found on the internet, you really have to be everywhere. Because it's just so vast. You type in Tony Hannides or IDK Junior, you're going to get stuff that has nothing to do with you, just because there's just so many other people and there's just so many other articles that might have IDK in the title and then the word junior in the subject line or whatever, and it still pops up. It has nothing to do with your music, you know? And same thing with me. There's actually like at least 4 other Tony Hannides in the world.
Damn those Tonys.
I know. It ain't like me though, right? No, but having quality, what we call in the journalistic industry, quality evergreen content, something that is always coming out, something that's always new, something that is searchable but also viable and useful. That's something that could set you apart from other people in your industry of entrepreneurship, community outreach, things like that.
Yeah,
definitely.
And that's what I'm
like SEO.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more discoverable, because a lot of my stuff isn't discoverable from just regular internet searches. The titles of my videos aren't how to find a job. It's just the name of the person, Work Talk Podcast.
Right.
So now I'm thinking about discoverability. So what I'm planning to do now is my podcast. I realized my goal isn't to get everyone to watch or listen to my 30-minute podcast. To me, that's like going to Best Buy and buying the entire surround sound system, the TV, the speakers, the PlayStation. Now I'm realizing they don't have to listen to the whole podcast. They could listen to bite-sized pieces of it, meaning they don't have to buy the whole stereo system. They could just buy the speaker or the TV. So what I started doing is I'm going to start snipping from my podcast mini content, like the LinkedIn articles. But I'm also, and I just posted this video today.
I saw that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
The one that says job search tips from a recruiter?
Yeah, it was from your vlog.
Oh, yeah. So I decided that from my 30-minute podcast with, say, the university recruiter I just spoke with, we spoke 10 minutes about LinkedIn and networking. So I snipped that video out into a separate video, and the title actually says job search tips from a university recruiter, parentheses, networking, LinkedIn. So it could hopefully be discoverable. And I noticed Joe Rogan's podcast is like that his podcasts are 3 hours long, and not that much people actually listen to the whole thing. But he has on YouTube something called Joe Rogan Clips, and it's just clips, a bunch of clips from his podcast. So I'm going to start doing that now to help increase my discoverability.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like micro content.
Exactly. I did.
Yeah,
I tested, I posted a video of Conor McGregor and Gary Vaynerchuk and Joe Rogan. It was when Gary V was talking to Joe Rogan on his podcast about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. And so I snipped it. I wanted to test it. I snipped it and I put those like words in the title. And I want to see, let's see how much views I could get. And then it got like 2,800 views.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you know, this like discoverability, these like headliners makes a big difference. So I want to see what happens when I start snipping this micro content and using kind of keyword heavy titles.
Right.
Well, Junior, you said it, man. SEO is king, you know?
Yeah.
Search engine optimization. I mean, it's really what matters.
Yeah. No, I was gonna ask, like, I know you guys, Tony, you're heavy on YouTube, right? You got 3 channels. How do you prioritize, you know, your content? Like, what's your schedule like? Like, are you just focusing on one channel, like, per week, or, you know, like, how do you figure that out?
So my vlog channel is on hiatus because I was doing a daily vlog, and then that was taking away from family time like so much.
Yeah, man, daily.
Daily's insane for my work schedule, 2 kids, wonderful wife, all that. Just not happening. So then I diminished the vlog to just vlogging when it's like an event, like E3 next week. I'll be vlogging. So things like that. But to go back to your question with regards to the other 2 channels, the vaping channel and the tech channel, and I told this to John, when it comes to that, the tech channel takes maybe about 70% of my attention, the vape channel about 20% of my attention, and my vlog channel 10%. And that is my attention of the YouTube stuff. And then my YouTube attention is maybe 30% of my actual attention. You know, so when it comes to prioritizing times, that's where to-do lists, my calendar, scheduling, that I have to be on it 100%. I have a calendar event for every major thing that happens during the day, except for going to the bathroom and going to shower. You know, like I will put you in my calendar, and if you said, hey, tonight let's go play Fortnite, okay, I will put you in my calendar for 10 p.m. because that's when I have time from 10 to 11:30. That's it. After that, I'm either in bed or I have to go back and edit the other things. Right. So the other prioritization depends on the client. So going back to these smart glasses here, I made a promise to the client that there would be a full review within about 3 to 4 weeks. That was 2.5 weeks ago. So when it comes down to those sorts of things, it's more contractual. But with the vape channel, that is probably the easiest. And I say that with a grain of salt because I will go to my sponsor's vape shop. I will shoot about 6 to 7 videos at their store. And then I will edit 1 video a week, which takes me about an hour. And I'll do that on a Sunday night. And then it posts either that Sunday or the Monday thereon after.
That's quick. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean,
you bulk your recordings then, right? So
For the vape one,
right?
yes, yeah, because usually it's just a bunch of bottles and that's about it. But when it comes to hardware review, like mod reviews and tank reviews and stuff, those take a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, those sorts of things I can knock out pretty quickly. But that is where I fear that if I'm knocking them out without any kind of like attention to detail or the amount of love that I put into like my tech reviews, the vape reviews would just kind of be, you know, same old, but just a different e-liquid and just a different tank. So that's where I'm trying to be a little bit more creative. And I've actually been wasting a lot of time going down the YouTube rabbit hole, just learning about Adobe Premiere Pro, just little transitional tricks, color correction, you know, looking to invest in better lighting, looking to invest in, you know, the better camera, stuff like that.
I know what you mean, man. I've been down that rabbit hole too. Where I'm watching these things. I'm about to buy a ring light. I'm about to buy color. I'm going to learn the color grade, and we got to find that right balance.
No, because one of the vlog channels I follow, Peter McKinnon, he does photography, but he also, that guy's off the chain because because his vlogs are great, but then he also has his informative vlogs, right?
Yeah.
And he makes it so easy. And this guy came from like no subscribers to over 1 million in less than a year. Now, mind you, part of that was because his, how good he edits his videos, obviously. But another huge part of that was because of the YouTube community and the outreach that he did with other vloggers like Casey Neistat or John Hill, the skateboarder.
Okay. Collaborating.
So that collaboration.
Yeah,
so that definitely helps, And what we're doing right now, collaborating on bouncing ideas off of each other, that's step one. The next step is to actually execute. So I'll say this: the next time I have a vlog, Junior, I will talk to you and see what we can work out licensing wise. If it's something that might benefit you, might benefit me. John, I know I've collaborated with you about potential job opportunity that may be beneficial for your students, and it would help me because I would get a referral fee. So there's that.
Yeah, and
everybody.
Yeah, and that was going back to what I think.
It's full circle.
Yeah, what we can do with this group is give each other value, and I think for me, I'm just making more and more connections. So anytime I have a connection that could, be a good sync with you guys, then I'll forward them to you. I'll tag you on the post. I did that a couple times, but I could do it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, that VR girl that did the museum VR.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what that actually looks like. I'm very excited for that.
Right. And in regards to my contacts that I could lend to you, I guess Tony, I've been talking to a lot of people in tech lately, such as that person Kai who has the VR for kids to experience a history museum. I'd be happy to just keep tagging you on those, and then you could feel free to connect with them if you want.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah. What kind of benefit do you find you gain from connecting with someone like that?
Just building that network.
Okay.
That person, and Junior, I'm sure you experienced this too. That person directly might not help me whatsoever because they might be in financial tech, for example, or healthcare tech, which I have no interest in. But it's still tech, and it's Internet of Things, and it's patents, and it's all these other things that are an amalgamation of interests that they might have other people in their Twitter feed that they might say, hey, I met Tony through John, and Tony's really into tech, and my friend also has a VR startup where they're doing haptic gloves, and they're out of Nevada, for example. I'm going to go refer Tony to that. And it's just one of those things. Music, I mean, that's food for the soul right there, you know? And like if they say, the beat that IDK makes doesn't work for me, for my artist that I'm trying to push through, but I've got this other boy out of Alameda and he's doing this and doing that and he's looking for this new beat, and Junior had this one lick and it just sounded so right. I'll hook him up that way. Yeah. So would you do like, say I connected you to some people who were in tech or has a company, would you do like reviews for them too, or interviews? Is that something within your realm of like content that you create? Yeah, I mean, for the tech side of it, if it is a physical product, like they are coming out with, or they already have something that is like a tech related product that is for consumers, not for enterprise, not for big. Okay, that would be something I would definitely be interested in. All right, because I was introduced. I'll tell you a quick story. I was introduced to somebody at an event. They were like super into Internet of Things, which I am, which is like smart lights and like Ring video doorbells and stuff like that. But they were interested in Internet of Things for like Forbes 500 companies. And then they started talking about what they're interested in, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I don't think I can fit that in my house. It seems too big. Yeah, never mind. I'm keeping it down. Tony,
Tony, would you be willing to get into like music tech? Like actually, like keyboards or MIDI controllers. So
it's funny because when Lazy Tech Guys first started, we were Lazy Tech TV first started. We were Lazy Tech Guys, and one of the key editors was also a musician, and he did a lot of the music tech. And he talked about like distortion pedals and new cartridges that came out and stuff like that, and it was awesome. But then he went off and did his day job, and we kind of lost that. The music tech aspect of it, although very interesting, especially like with NAMM and stuff like that, and all like the events that happen.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. That's not really our personal demographic right now.
Okay.
You know, like the only recent related tech thing that we reviewed or that we did a spotlight on was basically a light bar you put on a full size piano piano, like a grand piano, like a Steinway or something like that. And it's an application that will be Bluetooth to your iPad or whatever, and it'll light up the keys on your actual piano, and you can play along with digital staff or digital manuscript that's on your iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
nice.
well, I mean, if you think about those keyboards that you buy at Walgreens and the keyboards themselves, they light up. You know,
Yeah.
basically
They tell you which notes to hit. and-
right. Exactly. That's exactly it. They apparently came up with that idea 40 years ago. I don't know if that's true or not, but this company made this light bar for real pianos. So
That's cool. I can definitely send you some context, Tony. Yeah.
all right.
I think we're all the same. Same thing with you, Junior, too. I'll start tagging you on some potential influencers, and I could see where I could provide you guys some value as well, too.
Yeah, and Junior, I also know a couple of vloggers and whatnot that might be looking for other music, because I'm sure you've done, and John, I'm sure you've done this too. You go to SoundCloud, you type in vlog music, and all of Casey Neistat's playlists come up. Like, I don't want to be another Casey Neistat. There's only one Casey. I don't want to have the same music as he does, you know. So
yeah, or you start watching like people who started vlogging, and they all have like the same kind of music.
Same music.
I'm like, wait, I use that music too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely, John. I have I have recruiters in the family. I know some consultants, and then I'll shoot their contact information over to you too.
I think right now the biggest things I'm looking for is in regards to guests. I think I'm pretty good, but if there's ever a guest you think would be open to, who want to come on the show, then feel free to send them over. But also, if you have anyone who you think could find the content helpful, like if you, for instance, I was talking to a listener and his little sister is looking for an internship. And so she listened to the University Recruiter podcast I did, and she found it really helpful. And I think she even connected with that recruiter too,
Nice.
or talked about doing it. But that's exactly like the value I want to bring. So if you know anyone who you think could find the podcast helpful, you could let them know about it. Yeah,
most definitely.
Guest wise, for me, my guests, I'm interested in people in tech. It's kind of my personal preference because this is what I'm into also. I'm interested in people in tech, entrepreneurship, business, the helping profession and nonprofit world, arts, creative fields, video game culture type stuff. So anyone in those fields, I'm open to talking to. But once in a while, there'll be someone from a different like job field, like the professional fish researcher, and I may not be into that, but if he really wants to talk with me, and if I think he's a dope person, I don't mind, having him on the show. I may not have a lot to say, but I don't mind listening and becoming a little bit more aware. So, yeah, if you ever have any guests, feel free to introduce them to me.
Learn a lot more about fish, that's for sure.
I'm so knowledgeable on my fish now, guys. Talk to this fish guy.
No, my cousin was telling me how he caught this wide mouth bass the other day, and I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Like, can you eat it? What's the standard size of it? Is that a big one? I don't know. So that podcast might actually be
bigger.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I know. That's
exactly. I think
I'll also, John, I'll also connect you because I mentioned one of the first podcasts. Yeah, you and I talked about if you're interested, because my wife has her personal business that she has been pushing through over the last year with balloon decor, and just the trial and error of that, and an industry where people, when you hear people say, "Oh yeah, I work with balloons and face paint," it's like, "Oh yeah, you're a clown." Like, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm a professional individual that takes her work very seriously, loves what she does, and her work speaks for itself. And you go to these events like weddings, baby showers, and you see these grand like balloon arches and columns, stuff like that. Like, how the fuck do you make that shit? Like, well, she fucking does it right there in the front room. So it's it's something that would maybe being on this podcast might benefit her business, but also give a little bit more insight so people would take a little bit more.
I think that win-win,
pride.
Yeah, someone like that having doing some type of business like that. That's definitely like what I'm into. Like, I get all like goosebumpy, like, oh, I want this. These are the kind of people who I jive with, who I like to have on my podcast. So, yeah, if she's down,
That's very
let me know.
niche too. That business, it's really extremely specific to like a particular crowd.
Yeah, because what that specifically, like to do it yourself is very niche. But then if you think about it, everybody needs it. You have a daughter; she needs balloons, right?
Yeah, she has.
Exactly. So there's always a customer around the corner. But to be in that industry, you think it's so small, but she just came back from a balloon convention, a fucking convention where they learn about how to twist balloons differently and make all these crazy sculptures, and they're enormous and they're amazing.
Damn,
and she wants to keep doing that.
That's dope.
So,
yeah, I'd love to have her. I'd love to have her on the podcast if she's down.
Yeah. I'll ask her.
Sweet.
She just walked upstairs.
Yeah, but I would say an update for my podcast. I'm happy to see it growing, and I judge it based off of comments, emails, direct messages of people who've listened or guests wanted to be on the podcast. So I'm happy that people are liking it and find it valuable and are paying attention. It's like slowly growing. I think the LinkedIn though is going to be big for me. And when I start bite-sizing the podcast to the point where my goal is not for everyone to listen to the podcast, but you can listen to either the podcast or the pieces of the podcast, which is laid out here in these, these YouTube videos I made, which are, bite-sized pieces of that content, or the LinkedIn summary article, which is there too.
You've collated it. You've made it searchable. Yeah. Do you want me to give you more work that you can do? Because
tell me,
John,
what's some tips?
You did the wrong thing of introducing me to Anchor, Anchor.fm, which I knew about, but I was a little dubious about it because they are a startup. They've been only around for about a year and a half, and so I'm a little not iffy, but anyways, that's beyond the point. Within Anchor, you can actually split it up, the podcast itself within Anchor. So if I'm listening through the Anchor app, I can just say, well, I don't care about LinkedIn, but I want to hear what he talks about business development. And it's like skipping tracks. And so on Anchor, you have that capability, but you would have to upload in sequence.
The Anchor platform.
And then it uploads it as a whole with transitions within the Anchor app with transitions as a whole as one episode. So when I view it on Android through Google Play or on my iPhone through Apple Podcasts, it is a full podcast. But if I view it on the Anchor app, it's the full podcast, but also broken up into specific chapters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Exactly. Yeah. And within the Anchor app, people can call in and say, "Hey, John, love the podcast. I have this business idea. Who would you say that I should talk to, or how do I get over this hurdle?" Kind of Gary Vee does, but they would be basically leaving you a message, and you can play that message on the air and then answer it, and then make it as a part of your podcast.
Wow. I did not know
there's
that.
more work.
I just used it as I just upload on it, put it in there. I saw that you could record and do different sections, but I just didn't do it. Thank you. You're a wealth of knowledge, Tony. I always appreciate you for sharing me with the technical pieces, because for me, I overlook a lot of the small things, and I tend to just do a lot, and I learn a lot from my mistakes. But sometimes I need someone with more attention to the detail like you to help me out. So I appreciate that.
The problem with me is I see a lot of the detail, but I don't see the bigger picture, and I don't always see the end goal, and I don't always see how I can grow from that. I just focus on like little things, and I don't always grow. Your benefit is that you are growing and you are looking at the bigger picture, and while you are overlooking some of the small details, it's not stopping you from growing. So I personally need to find a good medium between them.
Yeah, that's good. Then we complement yin and yang.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then Junior's holding up the yin and yang sign.
Yeah, I'm like this.
keeping the flavor going.
Mufasa.
Nice. Anything you guys are specifically seeing with your projects right now that's going really well? Like me talking about LinkedIn, breaking down the content into micro pieces, and how I'm really excited about that, and my podcast is slowly growing. Anything you guys see going really well for your guys' projects?
Seeing a lot of good beats out of IDK over there.
Yeah, you've been producing a lot.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
You posted one yesterday? I was feeling it, man. I forget which one it was. Hold on.
Honestly, I post a lot. I don't even remember what I post. Like some of this stuff is stuff I made like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel like you've been creating a lot of music.
It was this one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear that one.
Oh yeah, that one. That was last night.
Yeah, dude. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was like, this reminds me of Genuine for some reason.
I did post a vlog, and I did use one of your songs, Junior. So the one that lately.
Oh yeah,
old school one. That's cool. Yeah,
I love that song. That's a good jam.
Yeah.
And then you posted a throwback with the freaking Killer Tofu song from Doug. From Doug.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome, dude. That's like one of my favorite shows.
You know, when I was
song.
growing up, when I heard that song, or when I was watching it on TV, that song literally stuck to me. Yeah. I never forgot it since then.
OVO, Killer Tofu. Damn, Doug. I never found out if he got together with Patty Mayonnaise.
I don't know. I don't know.
I gotta Google. I gotta check it. It's on Netflix.
Like Skeeter and all them too. Like what?
Yeah. All right. After this podcast, I'm gonna try to find out, did he get together with Patty Mayonnaise?
Hope he did.
Yeah.
Rooting for him.
Yeah. All right. We can kind of wrap up. Any next steps for you guys?
I'm actually looking forward to. I got my stuff right here on my board. I have about 5 songs that I'm going to be releasing on Spotify and iTunes pretty soon. So I'm gonna be trying to figure out like who can I contact that manages playlist or other notable vlogs that I can get my music onto. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll probably be doing some research on ads. Like, have you guys ever thought about like running YouTube ads, like Facebook ads, or like anything like that?
I'm thinking about doing Instagram or Facebook. I haven't done it yet though. I'm thinking about it.
Like I know those. I mean, like Facebook and Instagram. I know those ads are fairly cheap. I mean, you could start with like a $10 budget for the week, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like you set your demographic, you set how many people that you want to hit, and then Facebook will say, okay, that's going to cost you $10 or whatever. You're like, well, I can spend $7. Like, okay, well, it's not going to be for a whole week, or it can be for the whole week, but you're only going to do 900 people instead of 1,100 people.
Right. So your reach is basically determined by the amount of money you have to invest.
Right. Yeah.
Drop that 500. I do think they'll work though. I do think Instagram, Facebook ads will work. I think I want to feel a little bit more confident with and get a flow of my content, and then I'll be like, all right, now I'm ready to like start spending money and get like an organic reach of 1,000, 2,000 people looking at my stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to build a little more confidence first.
I think
I don't know, man.
Content first. I want to have some stuff like on Spotify or iTunes that people can actually go to.
Mm-hmm.
Junior, have you directly like tried to contact up and coming vloggers Like if you type in the word vlog into YouTube, for example, and then you scroll all the way down to where their subscriber listing is maybe 20 people, and they're just vlogging at least once, twice, maybe 3 times a week, and they're just trying to just keep that number up. Have you tried contacting them to say, hey, you're up and coming, I'm up and coming, I got beats, you need beats, I need the outreach and people to come back to me. Can we work out some sort of whether it be financial or just just a handshake and a pat on the back relationship where you have my beats throughout one of your vlogs?
Right.
Have you tried doing that?
I have not. You know what? I haven't even thought of that. I've never thought of that. Thank you.
That's a pretty interesting idea.
Those are gems.
Yeah, because the one vlogger I followed, John Hill, he would every Wednesday for at least a year. This was about 2 years ago. Every Wednesday he'd say, okay, this is the new track throughout this vlog that a listener sent to me. And so here it is. And so his vlog would intertwine with the music. And he would make it so the storytelling of his vlog was not undermined or dismissive of the music. It really did complement.
Yeah. Hey, Junior, tell me what you think about my recent vlog. And when I put your music in, I try to sync the flow of it with the music.
Okay.
Yeah, I try my best, but the thing is, I can't take forever on my vlog because I want it to come out on a regular basis, like once a week or 2 weeks.
Right.
So I have to kind of sacrifice quality for it. But yeah, just let me know what you think. It's only it's less than 4 minutes.
For sure.
Yeah. All right.
Tony, you know what, man? A lot of really dope products are coming out for the music world. And I'll shoot you these links, man. Like, I think a lot of this stuff is really dope. Like, I think you'd enjoy taking a look at them.
Cool.
All right.
Update from direct from Nickelodeon. Doug and Patty do not end up together.
What?
Damn.
Who did
not
that with?
Okay.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
like
Puppy love is all that it is.
wow.
Man.
I feel like though then that shows that the show matured. It's like 500 Days of
Just
Summer.
the girl next door.
Guess so.
Right.
Dang. She's the one that got away.
Yeah. Dang. On that note, we could go ahead and end this talk. But I appreciate you guys coming on to the Regulars episode 2, where we really just try to see how we can provide value, talking about business. And I think I feel like last time we did this, and I feel like it's going to happen again. We're kind of like accountability partners in a way. And I could definitely see myself after this is done, continuing my work and knowing that you guys are kind of watching. I'm watching you guys. I'll be sharing my contacts. You share your contacts. So I always find a lot of value out of this. So thanks, guys, for being on.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. You guys have a good one.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to this podcast episode of The Regulars. If you've got comments, if you want to chime in, if you want to be part of the show, let me know. We're always trying to learn more. We're always getting feedback. That's why we're having these meetings. And you can find me on any of my socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, podcast platforms, YouTube, at Work Talk Podcast. Connect with me if you want to chat. Take care.